Okay, yeah, table a bit crooked there. But it's because, I'm pretty sure it's because Xavier is playing Kaijus. As we know, Kaijus tend to kind of wreck the board, move things around.
Yeah, they're very heavy.
Loud noises. You're able to hear them just like...
Now we see Donald starting off strong. He's got the light stage, finds the Cantina. Let's see how the opening hands have worked out. We have 2 light stages for the Trickstar player here.
Yeah, the Honest is opened up in hand there, and it's that Ash Blossom Joy Spring I see.
And also a Pot of Desires, so once all is said and done with searching on the light stages, he'll be able to activate Pot of Desires and get some more cards to bolster the hand, perhaps finding some of the trap cards that we were talking about earlier. Solemn Strike and Solemn Warning being particularly useful, shuts down the Toad.
Looking at Xavier's hand. Just looking there, Tricking.
Agnimazud the Vanisher.
Is that an evenly matched?
There is a copy of Evenly Matched, so unless there's some sort of protection from the Trickstar side, we might see that coming down straight away and causing problems.
And that's also a Maxi, a Terraforming, and what's that last card there in the hand?
That's the Dragonic Diagram at the back there.
There we go.
So Terraforming would be able to search for either a second diagram or for the one-of copy of Kyoto Waterfront to start finding Kaijus. But Kaiju's not necessarily the most relevant for this matchup because Trickstars don't tend to field the strongest monsters. See Donald banishing 10 to draw 2. See a spell and a monster, but I couldn't make out what they were there.
Oh, I see.
I believe that's his banished pile that he's now investigating.
See if I could catch what was in there. Seen Honest on top.
Yes.
I think I saw a Candina in there.
Well, he's found one Candina, and so long as Licorice is able to get it back to the hand, that's all he'll need for this game. We see Chainlink 1 Licorice here, and Chainlink 2 also Licorice, which will bait out the Max C. Xavier cleverly holding on to it there, not being greedy and aiming for the one draw, expecting there to be a second copy of Licorice coming down immediately afterwards. But Ash Blossom will shut it down. Oh wow! Oh, third copy.
Oh my. And that's burned for quite a lot of damage, isn't it?
It will be 1200, so 200 from each of the Licorices, and 200 again, thrice over from the light stage.
Very strategically putting those Licorices down there. Make sure there's no pointing going on. This pointing's rude.
Yeah, and we saw in game 1 unnecessary damage being taken by putting monsters in front of those extra monster zones to give Decode Talker extra attack points. Donald's clearly prepared for it and is ready to play around. I expect we'll be going straight to the battle phase here, and we'll see that evenly matched hitting the board.
There it is. That's a lot of banished cards there.
Yeah. Puts Xavier in a commanding position to take this game over from now. Of course, he's still got 4 cards in hand to play with.
There's Terraforming. There's the diagram there. Oh no, it's gone for Kyoto Waterfront.
Okay, so Kyoto Waterfront will allow him to start searching some Kaijus out from the deck. Gains a counter, I believe, for each card sent from the field to the graveyard. Not sure how many cards in the hand will be being sent.
And every card being added to the hand there is just burning that little bit still.
Yes, but now only for 200 life points per.
A diagram?
Yes. See the effective diagram being used here. The Agnimazud. The cards left in the hand for Xavier here will be the Kyoto Waterfront and his draw for turn alongside the Water True King Barastos that has just been added. Puts down the waterfront here. Does he have any additional play? Not this turn.
Ooh. Donald for the Candina.
So we see, despite a very strong evenly matched coming down, there was no real counterplay. Xavier not yet able to capitalize on taking away resources.
Definitely something that needed to be done there, though. That was not a nice field to be staring down.
Absolutely, but...
That's the reincarnation.
So we have in Donald's hand at this point, I believe he had an Honest that we knew about from before, and he's added a reincarnation.
Xavier down to 5,800 and then again down to 42. Trickstar doing what they do best and just chipping away at resources there, making things...
Yeah. And this could be even more significant if we see very low life points later in the game where Honest might be enough to finish things off. I think the other card in Donald's hand there was a Drollen Lockbird, but most of the search cards have already been resolved on the other side of the table, so it might not be particularly effective. It does, however, mean that if Xavier is to search a card at this point, the Droll and the Reincarnation can be used to completely wipe out his hand, so he'll need to be careful about playing around that if he reads that that might be on the cards.
It's one of the most demoralising things to be getting that Drollen Lockbird of the Reincarnation.
Yes, at least in this situation there is some means of being able to play around it. If you choose not to search for cards. The real heavy hitter is if you find yourself in a position where your opponent has 2 copies of Reincarnation and the Droll, and then you end up with no hand before you've even had a chance to try and play around it.
Honest is one of my favourite cards, like, of all time.
It sounds like you haven't played against Honest very much.
No, I played a lot of Honest. In fact, I remember when Honest came back from, like, I could have 2 Honests in my deck. That was the best thing ever. And it looks like they're scooping up there and going into game 2.
Xavier never really found his way to any plays there.
So Donald won game 1. I thought he was getting his lunch out for a second there.
Okay, so what we'll be seeing from the side decks. Xavier has Chaos Hunters available to come in. Can be very useful. In response to summon of a Licorice, you can use the effect of Chaos Hunter, summon it from your hand, and it will shut down both effects of Trickstar Reincarnation. It can neither banish from the hand, nor banish itself from the grave to summon back a Trickstar monster. So on the other side of the table, we're likely to be seeing, well, there's Twin Twisters and Anti-Spell Fragrance, possibly not the best choice playing second. I'm not sure that there's a great deal in the Trickstar side deck to go in when playing second, but as he's already up 1 game, he's in a reasonable position already.
Interesting to see people using the Nimble engine.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of it. I understand that it's quite good for being able to turbo out Mr. Boy, but as I believe the Nimble Beaver is a beast, so that certainly wouldn't be able to be used for Totally Awesome. Manta and Angler might be Aquas, I'm not entirely sure, but possibly Fish.
I should check. So, the deck, well, the engine kind of now works mostly because Beaver came out in Circuit Break. That's right, isn't it? I think we were just talking about before the match that it's basically Tour Guide. It's Tour Guide and Crane for Nimbles.
Yes. So if you have Beaver in hand, normal summon it, and you get to grab another Nimble either from your deck or your graveyard. Angler, when sent to the grave, summons 2 Nimbles other than itself from the deck. And Manta works well with Diagram if it's sent from the field to the grave by a card effect, you can special summon any number of Manta from your deck. So normal summon Manta, activate the effective diagram, and you get 2 new Mantas out to be able to make a Mistar Boy or a rank 2, but as I believe it's a fish, not an aqua.
They're all fish apart from Beaver, who is a beast.
Okay, so none of them will actually be able to be overlaid totally awesome.
It's all about that Mistar Boy. I don't know if I can get along with his name.
Mistar Boy?
Yeah. It just sounds like, I don't know, some sort of hip-hop artist. I don't know.
I haven't been entirely convinced by any of the names for the remade rank 2 versions of, what were they, Metal Raiders effect monsters.
I think they're funny, and that's what they're designed to be.
Yeah, I suppose so. So, Donald
is
will
going
be playing
first.
Xavier must have chosen to play second then. See if he can manage something more this time than he did in game 1.
So that's a light stage, a Drone Lockbird, a Solemn Strike, and a Ash Blossom, I believe.
Yep, and a Jizukiru, the something or something kaiju.
The Thunder Strike, no. Maybe?
A big kaiju.
The other one. The Jizukiru, the Star Destroying kaiju. That's the one. Okay,
so we see as before, light stage, Candina, getting the searches going nice and quickly.
Oh, and over on the other side, we may actually be seeing Totally Awesome at some point. We've got a Chaos Hunter, a Terraforming, a Foolish Burial, a Ronin Toadin, and a Duke Frog.
Okay, Chaos Hunter very strong in this matchup. As I said, that will be coming in to be able to deal with the Trickstar reincarnation. But only if a monster is special summoned will it be able to come down.
Set to play Candina and pass. I didn't quite see what did he search for with Candina there.
I know that there's at least 1 reincarnation in the mix, and there's a Droll in the hand. So if anything gets searched here, that entire hand might be getting wiped out.
I get the feeling that Xavier's probably tested against this matchup quite heavily.
Certainly hope so, because if he starts playing recklessly, he can be finding himself in an awful position here. At this point, he might want to set some back rows or activate them.
Yeah.
I think we saw there was an Ash Blossom in Donald's hand here.
There is indeed.
Maybe considering whether he wants to negate that. No? Interesting. He allows that to resolve.
And Angler is going to the graveyard there.
So as we saw, Angler, if it's sent from the hand or deck to the graveyard, will special summon 2 Nimbles from the deck. I suspect we will see the Ash Blossom coming down to negate the effect. And counters begin to be accrued on the Kyoto waterfront. Oh, still play continues. See Beaver and Manta. Donald's quite understandably having to read what each of these cards do. I can't say that I knew what they did before I read up on it from the start of the round. Will that be a little bit of incremental damage from the Candina on the spell cards?
Yeah, life points changing there. Xavier's on 7,200.
Yes, so that'll be 2 spell cards for 200 each on the Candina and another pair of 200s from the light stage.
There's the search for Terraforming.
That could be very dangerous at this point, because I think we saw Trickstar Reincarnation and Troll and Lockbird.
Let's see whether he's going to do it there. He's thinking about it. Although I'm not sure whether...
First we'll see some burn damage from the Candina and the light stage.
Yes. Oh. Thinking about it. They're just checking something there.
possibly waiting for life points to be fully totted up. I think Donald's about to seal this game for the most part. We know that he's got a Solemn Strike set, so if there's a rank 2 play coming down afterwards, that will get shut down as well.
Oh, did you see that slam on the table? Goodbye, hand.
The draw does not go back to your hand.
I think he's just seeing if there's any response. Bam. And there goes the hand.
The Chaos Hunter. It was put in to try and get around that, but there was no special summon to trigger the summon from the hand. And we'll be going for a rank 2 play here.
What's he going for?
I'm not sure what options he has available to him at this point, because he can't make his Ronin Raccoon because that requires 2 beasts.
Sky Cavalry or Cat Shark?
So Cat Shark, Sky Cavalry, Phantom Knights of Cursed Javelin. Whatever happens, if it's a threat, it will get shut down by the Solemn Strike that we know is set on Donald's side of the field.
Oh no, he's deciding to go for a Link play instead, and here comes the Miss Star Boy. I believe he's just checking there whether he can use Manta or not. Of course he can't. He's not being sent by a card effect.
I understood that was the effect, yeah. Mr. Boy, boosting all waters by 500, will be able to attack over the Candina, but not if it gets Solemn Strike, as we thought it might.
I believe he's just seeing there whether he can get the effect. Right, his graveyard effect there.
So he takes back the Nimble Beaver, and I don't believe he's normal summoned yet this turn, so he might actually be able to make a play.
There is the normal summon.
As we said, this one works like a tour guide.
And it's more than likely we're going to see another... Oh, and there is the Ash Blossom.
Is that a Cosmic Cyclone drop turn?
It was, yes.
One of the simplest outs to a Kyoto waterfront that didn't even see an effect used. Obviously shut down by the Drawn and Lock Bird.
Yeah, Donald just has all of the answers this game.
Yeah. And was his... Did he have a Licorice? Was his last card in hand, or is that one that we don't yet know?
I will check. No, there was no Licorice in hand from what we know.
Okay. So we are in a very low resource game state at this point. But it would take a strong top deck to get Xavier back in.
Do you think
Otherwise,
his cards are doing a dance? I don't really... But is he going to...
Well, it looks like he doesn't have many options and he's fiddling with his cards because he knows his back's against the wall. There's only so much you can think about one card. Though even some of the best players will spend a year thinking about just one card.
Yeah. Attack.
Life point situation getting pretty heavy for Xavier at this point.
Yeah, Xavier on 3200 there.
And the Licorice has been found, so now we will see the recursion of that Candina, getting even more searches and really snowballing the game. It'll take quite something for Xavier to draw here to have any hope of coming back.
Does he have anything?
Well, we don't know what his card in hand is, but there are certainly 2-card combos in the deck that could do something relevant. Yeah, unfortunately, with only one card in hand, he's not likely to find Exodia for turn.
Reincarnation.
And puts Xavier in an even more difficult position. If he does start making plays, he might find that the cards he needs to make them suddenly disappear halfway through. And it looks like the writing's on the wall.
Yep. Drew the card, put them down.
Xavier drops another 400 life points on the draw.
The reincarnation, which will do another 600?
600. Drop him to 400 life.
See what he draws into
So
here.
at this point he can't activate any spell or trap cards because he would instantly lose the game.
Lose the game, yeah. What a bother. Yeah, have a kaiju.
So he has to drop the kaiju there so that he doesn't instantly die on his next draw phase to the Licorice.
And there's a Dark Cauldron. Here, have a kaiju. Dark Hole.
And then there is a reincarnation in the grave.
Yep. Banish, special summon, and
that's-
attack the game. Oh.
Or summon two, just
Yeah,
'cause, you know, why not?
Why not? Oh, there's a fist bump and there's a handshake. Okay, so that was Donald Light taking it 2-0 there, which is, you know, I would have liked to see Nimbles do something.
Don't think we really saw the deck firing.
No, let's talk a bit more about it in our post-match discussion. And we're back. So that was a pretty... it was an interesting match. As I say, we didn't really see... We saw Nimbles do something, but not enough.
Yeah. As Trickstar often does, the game was shut down by banishing the hand and giving nothing back.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the most fun to play against, but it can be an effective strategy.
No, it's exactly what they're made to do. Have an answer for absolutely everything.
And make sure the opponent has no fun.
Nothing at all. No fun allowed. A little sign. I played Trickstars at last YCS Prague. I had a little sign in my bag that just said no fun allowed. So
You might have come up against poor Xavier. He's turned up with his Nimble deck. He just wants to have a good time, and you're like, no.
No fun
Card
allowed.
game. You're not allowed to enjoy it.
You think this is a game? I think we could probably get Donaldo for an interview. We do have quite a bit of time left on the round. So I think we should be right back with an interview.
Excellent. We'll see what runs through the mind of a Trickstar player.
Be right back.